So I just wanted to get on here right now and have a little relationship talk. I saw a comment from somebody online in a Discord community where they were discussing how they just entered a toxic situation in their relationship and didn't know how to feel about it. And they said, "It scares me how much anger can corrupt me and not make me think. My girlfriend smashed my head with a hand mirror and I completely almost snapped but regained control and called her mom to kick her out before I could have done something worse." So, mind you, everything that I'm going to say here is without judgment, and it's with full love here, and with my intention of helping you. But the one thing that I want to point out and address is the fact that you say and acknowledge that it scares you how much anger can corrupt you, and you picture yourself being able to do something worse. Now, I'm going to say experiencing this essentially is what we call wrath, right? If we're looking at the 7 deadly sins, my mentor would call them ego identifiers. And when this is something that we deal with, we have to address the root causes of this, right? What can cause our wrath to flare up, and what can we do to not be triggered by it when we're feeling it? And if you don't have control of this, brother, I'm just going to say that you probably shouldn't be focused on any relationship right now. And the other thing I would say too is when you are embodying wrath too much, right? The saying, birds of a feather flock together. If you are experiencing anger and wrath all the time, you're more than likely going to attract that into your life. So whatever partner you're pursuing, if you haven't worked out on the anger yourself, your partner's probably going to be toxic, or even more so than you, right? They could, like you just experienced, you got hit in the head with a mirror or something like that. And that is just, that's not the kind of relationships we want to be striving for. And this is where I'm going to say, lock in with love. You got to think, one, you got to bring out better in yourself, make sure that you're healed, and anything that's angering you is being addressed, that you recognize your triggers, that you recognize, what gets you upset essentially, and catch yourself whenever you're thinking. Like, just because your mind is thinking like a angry thought doesn't mean you have to actually go and act on it. And the more that you practice this, the more you get in control of that anger. And, maybe this also requires you going and doing some hobbies and activities that give you a healthy outlet, right? So you don't feel as angry. And I'm just speaking from experience, bro, because I've had to go through this process myself, and I was where you were at. 19, 20 years old, I was dealing with some very volatile partners, but there were also some things I was not addressing within myself that I needed to really before I could be with anybody in a healthy, happy relationship. So that's the biggest thing that I would say, bro, is if you don't have control of your anger right now, I wouldn't encourage continuing a relationship with this girl, because it sounds like she has toxic things and behaviors and issues that she may need to work out for herself, right? And a lot of times our own ego, we might not want to let somebody go. We might hate the thought of them being with somebody else, but it's like, if this person is going to keep being toxic around me, the other thing you have to ask yourself is, if nothing's changing with them, if they don't have a growth mindset, if they're not trying to self-improve, right? Because you could work with that. But if they're not, and you see over a period of time it's just continued toxic behavior, this is where we have to say, would I still be happy if this continued on for another 5 years, 10 years? Because some people do not change, and if they're showing no willingness or wanting to change, then you might just find yourself in a continued toxic environment and toxic situation with somebody, and you're just holding on to it, and then at the same time it's bringing you down in the process. You do not want that, right? So what I'm going to tell you, bro, and this is with full love, this is without judgment, like I said, because I've been where you're at. Work on yourself, bro. Make sure that you're getting a good control over that anger first. and that you can maintain it, that, you know, it doesn't affect you. Like, you can have an angry thought every now and again, sure, but you don't have to act on it. And when you have that level of control, when you know what your triggers are, and then you're also, you know, making a conscious choice to be like, I'm not going to let any anger come out of myself, and I'm not going to entertain anybody who's going to try to bring in drama to my life. Like, you have to say those two things and really mean it and want better for yourself. And then once you want better, and then you have the information to know better, then you do better, right? So, and again, I'm saying this with love, speaking from experience. I am now in a 13 relationship this year. I've been with my partner for 13 years, and I can say it's a night and day difference compared to what I was essentially going through with past volatile partners in the past. I'm with a partner now that we hardly, you know, ever disagree, and when we do, we can easily resolve it because we can communicate, and we don't really have problems that often because we know how to keep a peaceful home. And that's all we want at the end of the day. We want to have somebody that we can enjoy each other's company, and, you know, somebody that we can connect with on all levels, spiritual, mental, physical. And, you know, we're not going to settle for anything less. We don't want drama in our lives. We don't want anger. And again, bro, you have to bring out that peace within yourself. So if you're struggling with it, work on you, bro. Just make that your primary focus. And then, you know, like I said, also keep the toxic partners out of your life. You know, even if it means not sleeping around with anybody for a while, you just focus on you, do what you need to do. Get yourself under control, bring that peace out of yourself, lock in with love, and then you can seek it in somebody else, okay? So I hope that made sense, and you know, this is for anybody out here that might be dealing with anger in a relationship. I hope this brought value to you, and just sharing from my experiences, hoping that they help, you know, because that's, at the end of the day, we can, you know, pass along good lessons from them, through the good and the bad experiences. So that's what I'm trying to do for y'all here. And I hope this brings value to you and to your relationships, all right? So my full love, and until next time, we will talk soon.